Hi, I'm Splashes, and welcome to episode 8 of Minecraft Maniacs. So, I just gathered up about 9 shulker boxes worth of gravel. I wasn't able to quite fill this one up. And I may or may not have slightly recorded a previous intro, in which my mic apparently wasn't on, so that's brilliant. But we can go ahead and see just the devastation that we brought to this area. This was all covered in gravel. Just get up, going nice and slow. There we go. Yeah. Admittedly, if it weren't this stuff, it'd probably be a lot easier to see. I'm going south now? Yeah. Unfortunately, we wound up flying over so many ships and villages and temples that have all been raided. There's another little village. Hello. I'm sure you've already been raided. It's a small village. I suppose we'll find out. You have anything worthwhile in here? I'm pretty sure this is telling me that it's been raided. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a library. This place has been raided. Yeah. Still really terrible at flying up. Also, I found a pretty flower biome. So, I have a whole bunch of flowers now, which is nice. Still going south. So, I'm gonna fly back home, and we can start making lots of concrete. See you soon. This is definitely somebody's place. Oh.
Oh, do you find like someone's random base?
Yeah, I think so.
Ta-da! Surprise!
Okay, so we've gone ahead and on my way back I wound up running into a mesa biome and may or may not have collected 2 shulker boxes worth of terracotta to see if we can go ahead and replace these gray concrete with terracotta just because of the chronic lack of ink sacs on this server. I've also gone ahead and created the layout for the western tower where our nether portal will eventually sit, as well as gone ahead and changed the shape of this slightly. Oops, I'm walking now. Gone ahead and changed the shape of this slightly, so instead of it being a sharp square, so it's rounded, and I think that looks a lot nicer, and it looks very nice from the air. Fly up. Yeah, so it has that nice smooth curve, and it will do that on all 4 sides, and then the ring around, and I think that'll look really nice. I've also gone ahead and put in the second fish farm, which should hopefully be useful. And in the spot the fish farms are compared to the western tower, or on the northern tower, on the western tower we're going to put some concrete mixers that'll be sitting basically right here in this bit, because I have a lot of gravel and a lot of sand and a lot of bones, so we can make a lot of concrete powder. And I don't want to sit there stacking concrete up and then tearing it down, because that takes forever. So we're going to build some concrete mixers here, but first we're going to go into Creative World so I can actually design a concrete mixer, because I've never built one. See you soon. So it's been a couple days since I recorded that previous clip, and I have gone through a lot of work designing, building, testing, redesigning over and over again. I even wound up opening an Excel file at one point to do some math. But I do believe we have our concrete mixer here. And this thing should be able to do about 8,800 items an hour and is fully AFKable and does not use TNT duping, so there's no chance if you hit a lag spike that you're going to blow up your base. This part of the TNT duper is not TNT duper. Concrete mixer is just very standard, very simple. Place the concrete block here, detects it, spits out another concrete block at you, and you just keep doing that, and as well as mining it, which is why you need the 2 hands. So place shulker boxes in here, and they do have to be shulker boxes or the system doesn't work, as well as place tools in here because you're going to need multiple sets of tools. Snowballs are in here, which you'll need as well. The tools will come out here, and your filled shulker boxes will come over there. So this just locks these 2 chests and locks the timer up there. But once it's unlocked, the shulkers travel up into here, down into here, where they get shot out here and drained by the hopper there. And once the shulker is empty, that hopper gets locked, and the piston deploys, pushing the shulker down over into this set of hoppers, which carry it on down to this dispenser right here, which pops the shulker back out. This is the hopper right below the farm. So the concrete comes down into here, fills the shulker up, and once that's full, it fires, and the shulker gets dropped down into this dispenser here. And now in order to make sure that your tools don't break, because they're going to be expensive tools, this thing, once it reaches 3 shulkers, then fires the dual change sequence. So it fires this, which sends the shulkers on down and to be collected, but it also fires a sequence where this piston gets pushed out. You place your pickaxe there because you're still holding down both buttons. This piston pushes you back. A snowball fires from here, breaks that off, and then a new axe deploys out here, and you just repeat the process. You don't even have to touch anything. Just hold the 2 buttons down and don't touch anything. And then the old tool goes through this stuff and gets plopped down in that chest. I also have a simple hopper clock up at top, which moves this thing back and forth, and this basically just makes sure that when you run out of concrete but you're still AFKing, you don't break your pickaxe and you don't break the rest of the machine. It just moves the blocks back and forth every 2.5 seconds, so that way you can't ever successfully break one of the blocks. And so that saves your pickaxe and it saves the machine from being broken. But yeah, so this machine with an efficiency 5 pickaxe will do 8,800 blocks an hour, and there's actually some math which I will show you in a moment to sort of explain why that is. But I think this is about the upper limit for what we can do with this style of concrete mixer, because the main thing that's stopping us here isn't the speed at which we can mine, it's the speed at which we can place blocks. So I think that's sort of the biggest limiting factor, and it's a very convenient number to basically be stuck at, because if it were slightly higher, then we would have to design the thing to have multiple hopper streams, and this way we only need the 1 hopper stream. So I mean, there's worse problems than having your max line up with something else that would also be a max. There will be another video hopefully relatively soon, where basically explain how to make one of these things. Uh, if you want to try for yourself, and if not, that's cool too. Uh, but yeah, this was a lot of fun, and we're gonna try and build it in our survival world. So I went ahead and did some math to try and figure out what sort of rates we could be looking at here. Uh, so I went ahead and did some experiments and some calculations for everything except for efficiency 1. I went ahead and pulled up the block breaking equation speed, which is the thing labeled generalized equation there, and calculated the time it takes to break each block. One of the interesting things we find out, though, is efficiency 3 and efficiency 4 actually have the same time to break concrete, because Minecraft rounds up the block breaking time to the nearest 20th of a second. And what we do find is the time to place a block is quite consistent across the 5 tests we did at about 3/10 of a second. So with those two numbers, we know that the block breaking isn't really our limiting factor. It's actually our block placement time. But with that, we can go ahead and calculate what we can expect for blocks per hour at around 5,500 for just a diamond pickaxe, and around 8,900 for an efficiency 5 pickaxe. So we got our first order for a redstone device. This is Bearcrafter's base, and he wants us to make an entrance. So first thing I'm doing is just sort of getting rid of the water over here. He's described that what he wants is he wants a piece of gray concrete with a gate on the top. So what I'm thinking the easiest way to do this is going to be to use an observer looking at the gate, and then have it transmit the signal down to a sticky piston to have it retract the door. And hopefully that should work nicely and easily. But we will have to see just how much we can squish all this together, because we have very little room to work with and we are underwater. So wish us luck. So that was actually really fast and easy, especially because when I first started talking to him about what he wanted, I thought I was going to have to do something with multiple various retracting pistons, but then he explained what he wanted for the door, that he wanted the gate on top, and suddenly it became an incredibly simple door. So just open it, pulls the thing back, close it, pops the thing forward, and just uses the 1-tick pulse from the observers. Just go through a hard block, and super nice and simple. So I have a couple of concrete blocks now, just there. Perfect. Yay. So I forgot to record the beginning of this part, but we have put together all of the supplies we will need. Here's all the redstone parts we'll need, as well as the various color bits that we'll need. So I've already started putting together the farm, and we will, assuming anything particularly interesting doesn't happen while building this, we'll come back once everything is all done and ready to run. Come on. Yay! I have another kitty. Oh, yep, there we go. Yeah, that's right. I have a fishy. Come on. Come on. Come get the fishy. Yay, I got another kitty. Oh, that was the first time I ever played slime blocks. That was yucky. Just that noise it makes. And then here's our other cat, which isn't named yet. You know what? I should name some birds. Give me the seed.
Seed. I hope you're able to play Dark Heresy tomorrow, because it's been like a month since you last.
Okay, you know what? I have a single seed. You don't love me for the seed. 2 seed not good enough for you? What about 3 seed? If you fly away from me, I will kill you. Doesn't like 3 seed. What about 4 seed? Ooh, 5 seed. 4 seed?
Hunger, bro.
5 speed? Come on! Love me! 6 seed? 7 seed? Come on! Oh, there's another. There's. Ooh! 4 more seed. 8 seed. 9 seed. 10 seed. 11 seed! What is this?
Oh my god. It is Fat Burb. He hunger.
12 seed? 13 seed? 14 seed! Wow, you are one just American bird. Oh, Burby.
Alright.
Yay! You only took 2.
Oh god, internet, please.
Hey, Mr. Birdie. New friend. Later, bird. I hope he's not dead. I hope I didn't kill him. Oh god, did I kill him?
I
Oh
don't
well,
think so.
I got a new birdie. This one's a cockatiel.
You should name it Chicken.
Why? It's not a chicken.
Looks, that's the name of the cockatiel drawing silly account I follow on Twitter.
Oh yeah, chicken thoughts. Kitty! No, kitty! No, stop! Oh, you... Nah. What are you doing? Kitty! Fish! You want fishy? I have fishy. Yes! I have his attention. Yes? 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 Yay! I got a tabby cat! I haven't had a tabby cat before. I will name her after my friend, Tabby. Oh, there she is. And Tabitha!
Uh-oh.
Chicken! They're both on my shoulders.
Dual wielding birds.
I'm so happy. Okay, so that took a little while, but we finally have it. This is our, whoops, we're going pretty fast here. This is our concrete farmer, or our concrete mixer, and it is basically the same as the one we showed in the creative world. Oops, it shouldn't be here. Except that this had to be slightly rearranged because I accidentally put it 2 blocks further back, as well as I added this signal line over here, so that way if you aren't using full shulker boxes, the system will go ahead and spit out the empty shulker, or the shulker box that isn't completely full. Which means I should actually go ahead and add a little delay to where it touches this one. That fires the 3. I have... oh, I don't have any. Okay. I will get some. Oh, do I have repeaters in here? No, use all my redstone bits. Okay. So, anyway, what we're going to do now is test the system to make sure that it functions properly. Oh, I don't have any snowballs. That's fine. I'm not going to be using more than 3 shulker boxes anyway, but I will need to get snowballs, so I need to write that down somewhere. So first thing we need to do is prime the system, and to do that we just use an empty shaker, and then we can flick it back off, and now we see that the shaker has gone away, and no! No! Oh, my bird! How? Oh. No, you stupid bird. Where did you die? How? How did you suffocate in a wall? I didn't even have you for a half hour. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, anyway, we have the two shikers in here, so we can go ahead, turn this on. This will pull the stuff through, and we can, yep, there's our timer going ahead. Something's not right.
From the bay, navigation entered in star song.
No! What? Are you kidding me? No! I've done quite a bit of testing with these concrete mixer, and there were a couple problems that I ran into. The first one was that when I was placing the blocks, it would double fire because it would detect the water, because I wasn't able to quite place them fast enough. Because unfortunately the stuff on this server seems to be quite a bit slower. It seems like it'll be about half the speed than it was on the own thing. Also, but I was able to fix that with the help of some repeaters, though it's kind of difficult to get over there now. Also, I have the problem that sometimes as you're mining along and you're just slowly breaking this, you stop. But it still stays about that same amount of broken. So I'm going to have to try and figure that out. I'm thinking maybe I could use a piston tape just to try and make the stuff large enough or something for it to properly reset. And the last problem is one that I don't actually know how to deal with, and that is that sometimes as you're standing there holding down your two buttons, sometimes for whatever reason you stop placing down the concrete, which is a problem. So I think that's a problem with the server, though, where you wind up having a lag spike. What one of the other users on this server, Nagda, does is he has a macro that basically it re-clicks the right-click thing every few seconds. So that's probably the safest bet of what to do. Though I have no idea how to do that, but I will try and figure out how to make this thing work fully properly without necessarily needing the macro. But I don't think I'll be able to do it on the server, just because of the problems we're having with the lag stuff, and just things running slowly and things just not responding nearly as fast as we'd like them to, because I'm pretty sure the server's over in Europe. I want to put in some additional chests. I've also added a system primer, where you basically go ahead and drop a shulker in here, and then when you flip this lever, it lets the shulker boxes out of this first before it lets it out of this, so that way you always have an empty shulker box down over there. And this thing also activates a piston, or when you flick it off, this thing activates a piston to make sure it breaks a shulker box that is empty or nearly empty, and then it fires the dropper on the other side, so that way the shulker box comes back over here. But that's basically what we've been working on here, and quite a bit of testing. We found that the efficiency 5 picks had the problem of stopping reacting or stopping the block placements more often than the efficiency. Well, assuming the mat still holds, efficiency tree and efficiency tree and efficiency 4 should be the same. And we did a little bit of testing, but not enough to really get a conclusive answer on that, so we'll have to do some more. We've also created a little room here, as well as a little maintenance hatch with some trapdoors, though apparently this flicks on and off these trapdoors, which is slightly annoying, but whatever. What are you gonna do about that? And then we have this little room here, though I need to get another piece of nether quartz because I ran out. And then we have some stuff here. And we've gone ahead and filled in the walls of the west tower up to, I think this is up to 100. So if you can go up here and just give a quick fly, you can see that we've built in the walls here and started a little bit on the gray. Oh dear, I almost flew off, which would have been brilliant. And the last thing is we finally have our own nether portal built, and we're going to decorate this, which is part of why it is so huge. And I think it'll look really nice when you're coming in from up there, that you'll just get this nice full view of this very large nether portal. But with that, I think we can start this up. That's really pretty. That's really satisfying. For that, I need to turn around. But with that, bye bye.